Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by a special guest, Andrew McInnis from Sportsmemo.com. Andrew, welcome in. How are you?
Thanks, Drew. Doing great. I've loved Vegas so far, and it's good to meet you in person. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we're talking 101 hockey betting here. And just wanted to throw it over to you. You know, any watchers out there that are sort of new to hockey, maybe more of, the football, baseball, basketball bettors, what they should look for in hockey, which is a growing sport, a fun sport, an exciting sport to watch here. One of the spots we were talking off camera here is travel spots, McInnis. How do you look to kind of attack those in the hockey markets?
First of all, I was at a Knights game last night. I learned that things are growing, and of course, the success that Vegas has had with hockey in their first 2 seasons. It's great to see all the fans out here, so I just wanted to mention that. But travel spot is huge in hockey, and I think in any sport you look for it, but specifically in hockey, you want to look for a good spot, and that's when you look at the odds as well. I mean, this team from the East Coast traveling all the way out to LA, it might be a really good matchup against LA, which is not a good team, but how's this team doing as far as travel? Are they tired? Are they coming off a win, coming off a loss? Maybe look ahead to their second or third game on that road trip. Their last game, are they tired? What's their mentality as far as over-unders go? Towards the end of road trips, I'm often looking towards an over. I think sloppiness, mistakes, neutral zone turnovers, and that just goes for fatigue. So a lot of people might look at the under because of lack of scoring. I look at it quite the opposite, where it's turnovers and fatigue, and they're kind of just out there having fun and just playing casual shinny hockey. Whereas at the start of a road trip, they're clamping down, playing very serious, trying to limit their mistakes. So different parts of road trips mean different things to me.
And McInnis, I've talked to some NBA handicappers out there. When a team's on a 4 or 5 game road trip, that, let's say, 5th game, that's either fade or stay away. I've heard a lot of the sharper guys talk about that. Is that same kind of philosophy true in the NHL, or no, not so much?
I actually like to think that they're going to try and close out the road trip on a good note. And a lot of times I actually would be more comfortable backing a team on the last game of the road trip than the first game.
Interesting.
Whereas that might be quite the opposite of some people. I want to see how they're going to settle in. And, based off how they do in their first game, I'll watch them throughout that road trip, and I feel like you can really find some good spots. So with road trips, I'm never too eager to back them right there on that first game. We'll see how they're looking, in those first couple, and then kind of find a spot near the end of the road trip.
Okay, and McInnis, do you want to bring up price points? This is a money line sport, a puck line sport. I guess what's similar to maybe MLB betting in terms of the run line. Can you speak to that in terms of what you look for in betting and what you think is the smarter bet?
Exactly, and there's no point spreads really besides the -1.5. Like you said, it's the best kind of number you're going to get. So it's really important people aren't consistently betting these -200s, -250s. You're going to see some massive favorites and some big mismatches in the NHL. And I'm not going to sit here and say those aren't going to win for you sometimes. Of course, there's teams that are going to go on great runs. But as a long-term, successful NHL handicapper, every day when you're looking at that card, you have to find a good spot. And when I say a good spot, I'm looking at the -120s, the -110s, something close to that range. And I think new to me these days has been regulation, 3-way betting. Try and get that down. You're eliminating overtime. If the game goes to overtime, you lose. But if that team wins that game within the first 60 minutes of the game, you're getting an incredible price, and you're kind of chalking that down a bit. So I really think that's important. And as far as underdogs as well, looking at a spot, like I said, on the road trips, or a team that plays better at home, or against a certain team, or is just in a better form, you can get some great plus prices sometimes. So I think it's very important that people aren't making these crazy parlays or, backing a team, putting their life savings on a -300, because you're not going to get rich doing that in the NHL.
Right, and McInnis, you bring up form, like what time of form the team is in, current form. Is there certain situations in the NHL that you look for that you can get an advantage on?
So this is something I really wanted to cover here in my trip to Vegas and being here on set with you, Drew, is that you can have a team like the Boston Bruins, for example, and they just had a massive winning streak recently. But when they come out of that win streak, you don't want to back them for a little while, in my opinion, or you want to see how they lost when that streak was broken. Or, for example, a team like the LA Kings, people love to fade the LA Kings. However, if you haven't looked at a spot and you haven't looked at your research before you're placing your bet, and you're going to bet against the Kings, you might not know that they've put up 4 goals in their last, 4 goals a game in their last 2 or 3 games. You want to look at current form, how a team looks right now, not overall. I feel like NHL is one of the biggest sports where in one game, a 1 to 3 game span, a team can look way different over a 10-game scale. So I have a very short memory when I handicap this league. I mean, you can't be betting the same team all the time. This is just constantly changing who's having success, who's scoring, and who's not scoring.
And guys, you can find McInnis's service at sportsmemo.com. And McInnis, just to talk a little bit about how you attack kind of the odds makers with your service. What's your volume like? A couple plays a day, a couple plays a week. How do you go about that?
We're looking at most 3 plays a day. Okay. Especially these days, I'm really just focusing on attacking that card. I look at overnight plays a lot more than I used to, trying to get the best price for my clients. And like I said, current form has been something that's been a huge factor to me. Finding the hot teams, which teams are impressing me as far as totals as well, which teams are scoring. I mean, that's ultimately the goal in hockey, put up some high numbers. And also goaltending. I mean, I look at that each and every day and pretty much determine what I'm going to make for my plays and my play sizing. So probably at 3 at the most, Drew, but like I said, it depends on the card and which matchups I really do like.
All right, you went to the Golden Knights game last night. What'd you think compared to other NHL games you've been to?
Yeah, excellent atmosphere. Definitely a couple different things and different traditions, but I think that's all part of it for a new team. But anybody out there that said that this city couldn't have hockey, they have no idea what they're talking about. Because it's great. This city does deserve hockey. They're doing great. The fan support's awesome. And this is coming from a guy that's from pretty much the birthplace of hockey. So a lot of people don't really know where Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada is. I take a lot of pride where I'm from.
Okay.
And a lot of people, just heard me say that. They're not going to know where that is, but that's fine with me. I'm from pretty much an hour drive from the birthplace of hockey, and Vegas definitely deserves everything they're getting right now. It was great, and they won 5-1, and I had a ticket on the puck line. So I came home, the Knights won, and I won with my tickets.
That's kind of the best of all worlds there, man. And and I'll tell you, this is the first time I've lived in a hockey town, and I'm calling Vegas a hockey town, man. They love the sport, they love the Golden Knights, so it's good times. Well, good to have you here, McInnis, and guys, you can check out McInnis at sportsmemo.com. He's got his hockey service as well as other sports. Good up-and-coming handicapper here. And also make sure to check out the Sports Memo podcast each and every day at sportsmemo.com. Just click on the podcast tab there, talking all things sports betting, college bowls. We're talking NFL, hockey as well, college basketball. So make sure to check that out at sportsmemo.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys.